Every year, millions of young Indians invest years of hard work preparing for competitive examinations. But when a paper leak occurs, it doesn't just cancel an exam, it shatters dreams, delays careers, and weakens faith in public institutions. Hello, everyone. My name is Rajni Jha. Welcome to Drishti IAS. In today's session, we are going to talk about Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill 2026. Let's get started. So, this bill is about strengthening India's anti paper leak law by introducing stricter punishments and faster investigation and trial of exam related offences. Because if we talk about competitive exams are crucial because they determine access to government employment, higher education institutions, and professional opportunities. For millions of aspirants, these examinations are not just exams, these are doorways for economic opportunity, social mobility, and economic security as well. When there is corruption in these examinations, it is not just administrative failure, it is a direct challenge to fairness, equality, and public trust. This bill has two provisions. It talks about the individual that are involved in such crimes, and it also talks about organized crimes. That means syndicate or network or group of people which are involved in such crimes. So when individuals are involved, for individuals involved in paper leaks and unfair means, there is an imprisonment up to 5 to 10 years and fine up to 50 lakh rupees. So imprisonment of 5 to 10 years and fine up to 50 lakh rupees if there are individuals involved. But if there are groups involved, syndicate involved, or networks involved, in that case, that is called organized examination crimes. And for that, minimum imprisonment is of 7 years and fine up to 10 crore. What could be the example of organized examination crime? So, for example, let's say there's a gang that steals question paper right before the examination and sells it to candidates. That is an example of organized examination crimes. Or similarly, in such a way, there is a racket that uses fake candidates to write exams for others. In that also, groups are involved, networks are involved. So that will also be called organized examination crimes. Now, as you can see, because this bill has provision for both, this bill recognizes that examination leak is not just about an individual. It is not an isolated act of cheating, but it involves organized networks such as officials, middlemen or cyber criminals or financial operators, and it is a serious crime that should be dealt with. Next, what are the institutional mechanisms introduced? So there are two main institutional mechanisms that are introduced through this bill. First is special fast track courts. So this amendment allows state governments and union territories to designate special courts. Why special courts? So that there could be speedy trial of offences, so that prolonged litigation can be avoided. Because right now we know that any case that goes to a court, because there are so many vacancies, there are so many backlogs, the same case goes on for years. But we don't want that here. So, for speedy trial of offences, special fast track courts can be allowed, right? This amendment allows for that. And at the same time, what are the objectives? First, prolonged litigation should be avoided, timely punishment should be ensured, and because of these two, deterrence will be increased. People would be more inclined to not be a part of such crimes because now they know that litigation is going to happen soon. Now they know that they can be punished easily and timely. So there will be more deterrence for such activities. This bill proposes completion of trial within 3 months after filing of charge sheet. Now, this is important. Next provision here, next institutional mechanism is special task force. Now, central government can establish a special task force for investigating such cases because sometimes, in fact, when there are large scale paper leaks, they often involve interstate networks, digital manipulation, and cyber crimes. And such specialized investigations would require special task force. So this bill also allows for establishment of special task force to investigate such issues. Next is, what is the constitutional significance of it? The paper leak leads to questioning of Article 14, Article 16 and Article 21. How is that so? See, Article 14 is equality before law. A fair examination system is an extension of constitutional principle of equality. Because when the examination is not fair, that means, what does that mean? Paper leaks create unequal conditions, right? Because some students will have undue or unfair advantage, and actual candidates, the innocent candidates or the genuine candidates will have disadvantage, will be at disadvantaged position. So some candidates will gain illegal access to questions, honest candidates will compete at a disadvantage, and this creates inequality. So this challenges the principle of equality also, and it challenges Article 14. It challenges the idea of equal opportunity and fairness that we keep emphasizing on in our constitution. So this also challenges Article 16, because Article 16 is about equality of opportunity in public employment. But when government recruitment examination, because they are important for equality, they are important for having an access to public employment, and when they leak, what happens? Some people get unfair advantage, and this is a challenge for equality of opportunity. So this also challenges Article 16. A compromised examination system will violate the principle by, how will it violate the principle? Because now the merit-based selection has been replaced by unfair advantage. So everybody is not getting equality of opportunity. So this challenges Article 16. At the same time, in Article 21, Supreme Court has talked about right to fair procedure. Right? Supreme Court interpreted Article 21 broadly to include fair and just procedure. But do you think when the paper is leaked, the procedure is fair? No. There are candidates who prepare for these examinations for years. So for candidates, years of preparation is there in these examinations. Financial investment is there. Career decision is there. And all of that depends on the credibility of examination process. So when examination is leaked, all of that is questioned. The fair procedure is questioned, and therefore it also challenges Article 21. So this examination integrity is linked with fairness under Article 21 as well. And it is not just about this, this is also about good governance, because an examination, a fair examination, reflects accountability, transparency, efficiency, and trust in institutions. When an examination is leaked, a government exam is leaked, it questions accountability. How? Because now examination authority, they should be responsible for maintaining security, right? But there is no accountability. Why are paper being leaked? Then it also questions transparency, because now candidates don't know that whether this is a merit-based system or not. Because if the examination is leaked, this is no longer a merit-based system. But for transparency, candidates must have confidence that the selection is merit-based. Similarly, this also questions efficiency, because government vacancies, they should be filled without any cancellation, right? But because exams are being leaked, there are repeated cancellations. And because of repeated cancellation, there is question in the trust in the institution. People start losing faith, candidates start losing faith in the institution itself. Frequent paper leaks, they damage faith in recruitment agencies, government institutions, and the state itself. So it is also a problem of good governance. Now the question is why paper leaks have increased so much. And it is not just about criminal behavior, because criminal behavior was there earlier as well. So what has changed? There are institutional vulnerabilities. We are institutionally weak, which is why this is also happening repeatedly. There is weak examination security. There is digital vulnerabilities. What is digital vulnerabilities? We're living in a world, we're living in a digital world. So there is cyber hacking, data breaches, online manipulation. All of that has become major issues, online threats, major threats. There is commercialization of education, because of which selling the examination paper, that becomes very lucrative. If somebody does that, they are going to have that they're going to have so many opportunities later to earn money. So this has become lucrative because education has commercialized. Similarly, there is administrative failure. We keep talking about accountability and we keep talking about transparency. There is administrative weakness, lack of accountability is there, poor monitoring is there. So it is not just about criminal behavior. Criminal behavior was earlier also. But in recent years, papers are leaking little too much. This paper leak issue has increased a lot because we have institutional vulnerabilities as well. Now, there is this bill to address all these problems. Yes, but there are challenges with this bill. What are the challenges with this bill? First, punishment cannot replace prevention. We are focused too much on punishment, that if somebody does this, we will punish them. But what about prevention? Why should we wait for a paper to be leaked and then for this bill to bring into action and for this bill to punish those offenders? Why should we wait for that? Why are we not focusing on prevention? Because even if, let's say, we punish the offenders, the time, effort, energy of the aspirants that they have spent in that examination that has been leaked, it's already gone, right? It has already been invested, it has already been wasted. So why are we focused only on punishment and not on prevention? Government must improve cybersecurity, encryption technology, digital tracking system, internal audits. so that we can focus more on preventing such issues rather than only punishing them. Second problem is implementation challenge. Any law, the success of any law depends on, especially this law, depends on police capacity, quality of investigation, and judicial efficiency. We have said that we want 3-month trial timeline. So there will be a timeline in 3 months, the trial will be complete. But there are so many case backlogs. There is judicial vacancies, existing case backlogs, limited infrastructure. How are we supposed to accomplish this? Right? So there is implementation challenge. Similarly, there is risk of over-criminalization. Now you have made strict laws, but you should also ensure that due process is followed, proper procedure is followed. Otherwise, maybe innocent candidates or officials, they will be targeted. So you should make sure that only genuine offenders are punished. And this over-criminalization should not result in innocent candidates or officials being unfairly treated or unfairly targeted. Similarly, there should be accountability of examination board. This is a major limitation, that we are focused only on punishing the criminals. What about the accountability of examination board? The real question is, why is there security failure? Where is accountability? Who is actually responsible? And were examination agencies accountable or not? Institutional responsibility should also be addressed. Of course, we should focus on punishing such criminals, but what about institutional responsibility? That part is missing in this bill. Now, before we move to the way forward, it's important that we focus from prevention. We focus on after the leak has already happened and punishing from prevention, from punishing to prevention. We should be focusing on being reactive to preventing. That we can react after the leak has happened, but then the damage is already done. What about preventing that beforehand? So we should be focusing to move from being reactive to preventive. That should be the focus. Now, what is the way forward? The way forward is have technological measures, administrative measures, judicial measures. We have already discussed all of these. There should be end-to-end encryption of question paper, blockchain-based tracking, AI-based anomaly detection, biometric verification, stronger biometric verification. There should be independent examination regulators, because right now there is accountability problem. There should be regular security audits, standard operating procedures, strict accountability mechanism. And when we talk about judicial measures, there should be adequate judges for special courts. Only making special courts will not solve the cases. We need judges. Then dedicated investigation unit should be there. Time-bound prosecution should be there. This should be the way forward. And not just that, there's a sociological dimension also in this paper leak. And what is that sociological dimension? The dimension is that when we talk about India's youth, India's expanding educated youth population, it is increasingly dependent on these competitive exams for upward mobility. So when these exams fail, it's not just administrative failure like I told you, it is also about aspirations. Aspirations are frustrated. Social mobility is weakened and threatened, and state credibility suffers. So paper leak is not just about crimes against examination system, it is also about aspirational hopes of these millions of adults, these millions of youth that the country has. And now that we are at the end of the session, I have a question for you. The question says, with reference to the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill 2026, consider the following statements. Option 1, the statement 1 is, individuals involved in paper leaks may be punished with imprisonment ranging from 5 to 10 years. Second, organized examination crimes attract a minimum imprisonment of 7 years. And third, organized examination crimes are punishable only with imprisonment and not with monetary penalty. You have to tell me which of these statements is correct. Option A, 1 and 2 only, B, 2 and 3 only, C, 1 and 3 only, or D, 1, 2 and 3 only. And at last, I have a question for you, and my question is, do you really think that there are loopholes in this bill? Or if we simply bring this bill, everything will be solved? I want to know your idea about this, your opinion on this. So that's it for today's session. I really hope that you enjoyed the lecture. Until next time, have a great day and take care.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.